Hello everybody, this is Cool Latius and Latius, and for this video, I'm gonna read at least one more. I don't know if I'm gonna do both Always and Forever Date, but Archery Date. I wasn't planning on reading all of this, but I've been dying to read these stories for so long, like, it needs to be read, okay? How much of Gavin do I have? I see. I know, Alright. So, Archery Date. Lucien insisted on sending me home, but I didn't want to bother him. What should I do to make him feel assured? I wonder how this date is gonna go. Lucien and archery? Really? And let's find out. I was being followed. That's a very ominous thing to say. I was being followed. Getting out of the subway station, I felt unusually stressed. Young woman murdered or walking alone at night, unable to stop thinking about the news. Oh, I couldn't help but hurry my steps. However, as I took a step, so did the stalker, and as I ran, the stalker pursued even more relentlessly. I'm almost there. The stalker was getting closer and closer, and my lit apartment was right in front of me. As the stalker was catching up, I panically bumped into familiar arms. The overheard soft voice was a dose of calm, dispelling all of my fears.
What's wrong? Why the hurry?
Do you not see somebody following me? What's the hurry? Oh, Lucien, someone was following me just... Oh, she gonna tear the shit out of him, bro. I pulled on his sleeve and pointed to the street behind. A gust of wind howled in the darkness, but nobody was there. Eh? How come he's gone? I rubbed my eyes and looked again. Still, I saw nobody, as if what happened was my illusion.
Maybe you're just tired.
Yeah, maybe she was just thinking way too much, I think.
Don't be scared. I'm here. Let me take you home.
Oh, let me just screenshot. You could be there for me any day, honey. He took me in his arms and shielded me from all dangers behind. I caught a glimpse of intense sharpness in his eyes, slashing the night sky. But when he looked at me, I saw tenderness in his eyes.
Have you been getting home late recently?
No. Yeah, I have projects piling up.
Then tell me the next time you're leaving work. I'll come pick you up.
Okay. But you look very tired too. Under the lights in my lift, I could tell he was busy from his slightly bloodshot eyes and pale face. I softly stroked his face, touching the dark circles under his eyes. He froze a little, then tilted his head. Holding my hand in his, he rubbed his face against my palm, like a big knuckle.
I'm all right. I'm not tired now.
No, I'm totally fine. Embarrassed. I tried drawing my hand back, and he held it tightly in his palm, instead, crossing his fingers with mine until they intertwined. Aww. He still insisted on holding my hand and walking me to the door after we got out of the lift. Oh no, not again.
If you work late again tomorrow, remember to call me to pick you up.
Will do.
When you finish these projects, I'll take you to a wonderful place to relax.
Oh, thank you. He loosened his grip and rubbed my head, bidding me good night with a smile gentle as always. Hey. All right. Woken up by the relentless alarm clock, I struggled to pull myself out of bed that early weekend morning. Just as I walked out of the apartment lobby, Lucien got out of the car to open the door for me.
Based on the current road conditions, we'll arrive in about 45 minutes.
Okay. His voice was as soft and warm as the morning light, but the more he acted so, the more obviously his fatigue showed. Lucien, did you work through the whole night again?
No need to worry. I've slept.
You sure? Seeing him in this state, I could guess that a couple hours of light sleep was what he meant by having slept. I sat in the driver's seat ahead of him. I sat in the the passenger seat ahead of him, maybe. He looked in confusedly.
Huh? Why did you take the driver's seat?
Oh, no, she really did. Okay. You have two choices. First, sleep on the way. Second, sleep at home. Uh-oh. Lucien smiled, having no choice, and got on the passenger seat. After lightly closing the door, he leaned towards me, leaving no more space in the car. Okay. His faint fragrance created an ambiguous atmosphere, making me feel like a rabbit caught in the headlights. Oh my God, what? He propped himself up with one hand while reaching to my back with the other. Ooh. Seeing his face almost touching mine, I tensed up and closed my eyes, but heard instead a click.
You forgot to buckle your
Damn
seatbelt.
you!
Now I won't dare to sleep.
No, why? Damn it. It's because you suddenly leaned over.
It's my fault, huh?
Oh. It's my fault now, huh? He said as he got even closer. His warm His warm breath made me blush till the tip of my ear. What? His eyes beamed with pleasure while I blushed.
Okay, no more playing around.
No more horsing around. Come on.
Here, eat them before they get cold.
Eat them. Eat what? I looked down and took the dumplings Lucien bought from the famous Yao's button. They were still warm. As I was sipping the juice of the soup dumplings, Lucien had turned on auto navigation. I took a look. Fortunately, it wasn't a difficult route.
This is the first time sitting in the passenger seat of my own car.
My own car. So, someone doesn't like his car to be driven by others? I tentatively took a glance at his facial expression, but he just smiled and rubbed my head.
You're not others.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. He said as he looked straight into my eyes. I could see from his pupils my bewildered, blushing face. When I turned back and stepped onto the accelerator, Lucien still didn't avert his eyes from me. Lucien, do you sleep with your eyes open? What? Oh, I see what she means. He leaned against the seat quietly, staring at me intently, as if tracing me with his sight.
No, I haven't fallen asleep. I just want to watch you like this.
Aww. When we reached at the red light, I reached out to cover his eyelids. After you wake up, silly, you better sleep. Just have a good rest now. Listen to me this once, please, okay? Okay? Lucien just smiled as his eyes were covered. I felt his soft eyelids tickling my palm. When I drew back my hand, he had turned his head, closed his eyes, and was breathing steadily. I don't know if he's pretending to sleep or he's actually falling asleep. I held the steering wheel and drove carefully, following the navigation. However, at the crossroad, the cursor on the navigation suddenly stopped. I tried to move it, but the signal was too weak, only one bar left. I was at a loss, looking at the two similar roads on both sides, wondering which one I should choose. It was somewhat far from the destination here, and nobody was on the road. I didn't want to bother Lucien either, who seemed to be in a deep sleep already. I got anxious and wanted to try the road on the left. Then Lucien uttered two words slightly with closed eyes.
Go right.
I knew it. I knew it. You weren't sleeping. He chuckled and pretended to sleep again. The sun cast a shadow on his sunken face, and his quivering eyelashes looked like butterfly wings. They added softness to his chiseled face. I drew closer to watch unconsciously when he suddenly opened his eyes.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh, I'm just admiring you. What else? I just want to make sure if you're sleeping. Dumbass. No. After a while, now we're gonna admire his face, bro. We finally arrived at our destination. Before us lay a white building encircled by bamboos, looking like a mysterious recluse. What is this place?
Archery Stadium.
Ah, Lucien led me to the pebble path among the bamboo forest. I was looking forward to it, but it was also a bit uneasy. Knowing that it's the sport I knew nothing about, I can only think of how I would make a fool of myself before Lucien later. Is archery difficult?
You don't believe in yourself? Or you don't believe in me?
Whoa. He slowed his pace, rubbed my head softly, giving me confidence. The bamboo shadows couldn't hide his smile in his eyes. The rustling bamboo leaves polished his slightly hoarse voice.
Take it easy. Today we're just here for relaxation.
That sounds fun.
If you really have no confidence, then let me help you build it little by little.
Okay. Yes. Just as I thought, we'd been locked out. Lucien deftly input the code in the e-lock at the side.
I told the landlord in advance. He said we could come early. He'll arrive later.
Okay. Are you a VIP here?
No special restrictions are set here. You can do whatever you want.
Interesting.
If you become interested in this sport, we can come here often.
Okay. I guess. Various types of bows hung on the whole wall of the large stadium, glittering under the lighting. They were clearly well maintained. Lucien, is your bow here too?
Yes. Guess which one is mine?
How the hell should I know? Looking up, I found the bows either intricately designed or painted using loud colors, seeing the traits of their owners. Amongst the rare array of arrows, an ordinary but spotless bow caught my attention. Those tiny scratches on its seemingly clean surface showed his bow was often used, instead of being a decoration only. Yeah, I see. I pointed at that simple bow and looked back at Lucien. From his astonished look, I knew I guessed right. He stretched out to take that bow and passed it to me.
Do you want to hold it?
Yep. I held the bow as he instructed, and he loosened his hand slowly once he saw that I had a steady grip. The bow was heavier than it looked, and it made my hands tremble. Lucien went behind me and supported my wrists so that it could stay firmly in my hands.
Because we often don't use our dominant hands to hold bows, it may take some getting used to at first.
You don't use your dominant hand to hold? I guess because, because you need the other hand for the arrow, right?
I'll choose a lighter one for you.
Oh, thank you. When he was choosing a proper bow for me, a middle-aged man came up to him robustly. Professor Lucien, it's been a long time since we had last met. You've come with your girlfriend? Lucien replied with a gentle smile. I stood by his side, blushing, and slightly nodded to say hello. Hello, I'm Angela. Hello, Professor Lucien has told me about you. Yoroshiku. Nice to meet you. The landlord warmly reached out his hand, but with the bow in hands, I didn't know how to behave to not see what. I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, he realized my dilemma, but he soon reacted with an extremely surprising expression. Haha, you must be very important to Professor Lucien. He never lets anyone touch his bow, nor his car either. I recalled him allowing me to sit in the driver's seat and suddenly realized what he meant by, you're not others, exactly. I turned to watch Lucien's reaction, and he just smiled, his eyes hiding a Lucien I've never seen before. Ever since the first day I knew him, he has hidden all of his spines, and only greeted everyone with smiles and tenderness, so I had never thought there could be an aggressive side of him, somewhere he wouldn't let people touch.
If it's heavy, give it to me.
Okay. He took his bow from my slightly trembling hands. Seeing that, the owner quickly stood in our way. It's such a rare opportunity. Could you compete with me for a round, Professor? Oh.
You know I don't regard archery as a competitive sport.
Oh, really? Don't turn me down today. Plus, you can show her your awesome archery skills well, right? Oh. You too, miss. Aren't you curious about the other side of you, Professor Lucien? Yes. Lucien was always gentle and unthreatening. After hearing that, I really am curious with how Lucien looks like with the desire to win. Seeing how expectant I am, Lucien could only sigh and nod, accepting the landlord's challenge.
Just for one round.
Okay. Then Lucien and the landlord went to their own tracks for preparation. I stood there idly and couldn't help looking towards where Lucien stood. Okay. Oh, he could button himself up all day. He turned his back against me, and I could just watch him all day, and took off his shirt. Ooh, I couldn't take my eyes off his strong and defined back muscles. Lucien, also a workaholic who sits all day long, yet had no flab at all. The tight-fitting long-sleeved jumpsuit he put on showed off his muscles that were usually hidden. After changing, he came to me slowly with his bow, and I sensed a change in his aura. There was a whiff of danger behind his gentle smile, like a leopard licking his paws and watching its prey in the grass. Walking to the entranced me, he patted my head and reached towards me, the loose protective gear on his wrist.
Could you do me a favor, miss?
Angela. Oh, okay. Not knowing how to adjust it, I could only pull the contraction band cautiously and asked him, is this okay?
It can be a little tighter.
You could tighten me up. About now. He held my hand and tightened the band until the wrist guard was firmly fixed. I realized I had been tricked again just now, and I couldn't help. I knew it. I know you, bro. I know you too well. You could have put it on yourself, you know.
It's just a little punishment for siding with the landlord to coerce me into a game just now.
Damn. After the little banter, Lucien went back to the track. Both of them held their breath, a deep concentration, as intently as intensity sparked. Although I didn't think of the impotent Lucien would lose, I still cheered on for him in my mind. Okay. Lucien won in the end without a doubt. Professor Lucien, you are the only guest that I've yet to defeat. Your skills are indeed better than mine.
You flatter me. I just won by chance.
Oh, I just won by chance, okay? All right. Let me get out of here. Call me anytime if you need anything. Although he lost the game, the landlord left contentedly, leaving Lucien and I alone on the board track. Lucien, you seemed just like a different person just now. Remembering his intense concentration and unfailing accuracy, my stress suddenly increased.
Huh? Different how?
Different how? Well, you were a bit aggressive, a bit different from the usual you. He just smiled as usual, though his eyes weren't smiling.
If I show you that expression someday, remember to run away.
Oh, God. Will there be a Sunday like you said?
I mean if.
Yes, if. I won't run. I will ask for a reason first. Lucien bent down and rubbed my forehead, and chuckling helplessly. I wasn't sure if he was chuckling at me or himself, maybe both.
Silly. In this world, there are many things that cannot be explained, even by science.
He held me even more tightly in his arms. He felt warmer than usual, as he just finished the game, and the air around us was filled with his presence. I struggled coyly in his arms, but he stretched his hands to my back and fumbled for something. Lucien, oh.
Don't move. The protective gear has loosened.
Okay. He tied the protective gear for me once again, then went back to the track. He showed me how to shoot step by step so that I could have a basic understanding. Oh, every time he drew his bow and anchor, his gaze became penetrating without him knowing. It seemed as if he could see nothing else but the target and the arrow. I could even sense solemnity, I don't know what that means, as he explained.
You see?
I do. Yeah, I replied so, but actually I was so amazed by his agile movements that I failed to notice the details. The details? Oh,
now
I see.
You try it.
Oh, I'd like to, yeah. As I took the bow from the stand, Lucien chuckled, put down his bow, and walked up behind me.
The bow is inverted. Are you being absent-minded? Or did I not teach you well?
Well, Professor Lucien, you could teach me again all day, bro. Lucien took the bow from my hand and put it on my stand. Put it back on the stand. Then he lightly patted my back.
Let's start again, beginning with the stance.
Okay. Blushing, I nodded awkwardly and answered him softly. Okay.
First, stand obliquely. Straighten your back. Put your feet shoulder-width apart.
Okay. Lucien extended his slender leg between my closed legs. Slightly separate them apart.
Then, face directly towards the target.
I'd like to try archery one time. Maybe you could teach me. Could do all those moves. He turned my head from facing him to facing the direction where the target was. My waist turned automatically with my head, but was soon strained by Lucien.
This is a common mistake for a beginner. The body and the legs should be in the same straight line.
I guess that would make sense, right? Because archery, you don't want... Yeah, makes sense.
In this way, you can pull back the string strongly and avoid the deviation of the center of gravity.
Okay. Not until he fixed my basic stance did he pass the bow to me again.
Relax your arms or you can easily get hurt.
Yeah, makes sense. Before I started to draw the bow, my arms were limp due to the lack of exercise. The bow on my hand swayed like a pitch pipe. Lucien held my wrist and began to correct my posture.
Push your elbow outward like this, so you can exert your strength better.
Okay.
Place the other hand properly, or it can easily get hurt too.
Yeah. Under his instruction, I finally got the hang of it slowly. He instructed me while clasping my hand and guiding me to draw the bowstring. At that moment, adjusting to the same breathing rate and aiming the same target, it was as if we had become one. I could feel his warmth. Traveling along my hands to my body, then back, then finally permeating my whole body.
I'll count 3, 2, 1. And then we'll release our hands together.
Is she actually gonna hit the target? Okay.
3,
Son.
2,
Fire.
1. Fire!
Oh. All of my accumulated stress from work and life left with the shooting arrow. I didn't aim at the target carefully just now, but with Lucien's help, the arrow still hit the bullseye. I looked up and leaned on his chest and smiling at him. Lucien, have you ever lost?
Why? Do you want to see me
I like
lose?
I said it. Why? Do you actually want me to lose? Yes. It's just hard to imagine. Hearing that, Lucien pulled out another arrow from the quiver. This time, he asked me to hold his hand and draw the bowstring tightly.
That last arrow was counted as mine.
Okay.
This time, it's yours.
Oh, but it was right on target just now. How can I possibly win?
I believe you can make miracles happen.
Thank you. Yeah. Encouraged by Lucien, I took a deep breath, held his hand tightly, and made a full draw. The arrow whizzed directly towards the target. It finally fell on the neck of the last arrow. This counts as
A tie. We can have a
Ooh.
showdown in the
Well,
future.
this is fun.
I'll come with you whenever you want.
I mean, is archery easy to learn? I guess it is. You just have to get used to it, and obviously with lack of exercises. No, I want more. After finishing the overtime work, I went back to home as usual, but got followed. When I didn't know what to do, Lucien appeared again and saved me from danger. He looked very tired, but still insisted on taking me somewhere to relax on the weekend. In the weekend morning, Lucien came to pick me up, but his tender expression couldn't conceal his fatigue. In order that he could take a rest for a while, I forced him to sit in the passenger seat to have a good sleep. When we arrived, Lucien told me the place was an archery stadium. I had no talent in sports, so I followed him into the stadium uneasily and witnessed a thrilling archery game between him and the stadium owner. After the game, Lucien began to teach me archery. At first, I was enchanted by his charm and totally forgot the mysterious steps he showed me. He taught me step by step, then I gradually got the hang of it and enjoyed the full fun of archery. That sounds fun. I bet it is fun, isn't it? Maybe. Oh, this is after. I see. So, I don't know if I'm gonna... Yeah, I decided I'm not gonna do Always and Forever. My voice is getting tired. So... Dumbstruck. Dude, Gloomy Date. Holy hell. That's one date I want to read of Always and Forever. So besides the last one, it's like I'm slowly reading the event ones and the Dumbstruck Day, which is a recharge one. Okay. That was a lot of fun. Yeah? Oh no. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, because he doesn't have one. I just want to check something quickly. I see. Now Victor is just 3. Nice. Okay. Oh, I want to check something out quickly. Okay, so you're 4. I know I have those evolved, but did I actually evolve? No, I know I have. Ah, I see. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, just a quick check. Advanced creativity. Alright, so there you have it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I think tomorrow I don't know when the next time I will see you with reading stories. But again, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you next time, my friends.